Good morning everyone, this is Tracy Newman from the Navigators Tarot, where you can find me on Instagram and Sleepy Wisdom on YouTube. I'm here to do a few readings for you about what the energies are bringing this week. I'll have a look and see. It's going to be a particularly hot day today apparently, though it has rained this morning. So the energies at this point in time are really kind of chaotic, I feel, and a little bit dramatic, if that makes any sense. Lots of drama from lots of different people. People really feeling the effects of that drama too, and the chaos that ensues from the drama. So there's a lot of, this is just part of that ungrounded energy that a lot of us are feeling at the moment. So these are the, and that's quite heavy as well. There's a lot of death that is occurring at the moment on every level. Death does not always mean the death of a person or anything like that. It's really about transformation and transmuting old energies, old outdated energies that are no longer required and we're not able to take into the new world or the new parts of ourselves that are trying to come through. So a lot of death and transformation is happening at this time. We also have the Ace of Wands, which it's really interesting because we have the Death card and the Ace of Wands. Death always brings about renewal as well. Death and then new beginnings, and that's exactly what that is saying to all of us at the moment. And at the moment there seems to be a choice of exactly how we are going to manifest our new world for ourselves, and also how we are going to move forward into these new earth energies. It's going to require a lot of strength to do this, because choices are always difficult for a lot of us to make, especially if there is a lot of wounding that goes along with some of those choices in having to change in some way our beliefs or our ways of being. You know, that comes with a lot of challenge and requires a lot of courage and strength. I know through my own spiritual transformation, I just needed to find that inner courage that I had, which all of us have. And now that we're being asked by the universe to make those choices, about very hard choices for some of us, about moving forward into this new world, that we can't take a lot of who we once were into these new energies. So we must allow some of those energies to die off, and then so that a renewal can come through. And we have the Chariot. So these are very quick moving energies, very forceful energies too, like literally moving us, shifting us forward. And sometimes quite violently. It can appear like that anyway. And also too, but we do have, this is leading to an emotional independence of sorts for all of us. As these death energies quickly annihilate anything that no longer is required for us to move forward, then, these new energies that are coming through, they're very quick, they're very fast, and sometimes can be quite, as I've said, quite discombobulating, a bit violent in their operation. And then we have the Chariot, which is also about moving very quickly forward, but being in control. And this is another thing too. A lot of us, as we're literally going through these changes, can feel like we're going mad, can feel like we are spinning completely out of control. But it's a good thing to remember that this is happening for a reason. This is happening for our common good, for every single one of us. And so it's a really, really good thing to actually remember that you do hold the reins. You do actually hold the reins of your chariot and how you move forward. And you have the emotional stability and the emotional independence to be able to take on this journey. You came here for a reason. We all did, for this time of change. And this is the sun. The sun energies, of course. Oh, I'm getting that. The sun. Oh, okay. So I feel like there is quite a bit of solar flare activity, which is actually helping to move a lot of this forward and to transform in such a magnificent way. And it's actually happening because the sun is literally going through its own changes. The sun also too represents the masculine. So it's very, very interesting that the sun also, as it throws off all these solar flares and going through its own changes, that we're beginning to see in our masculine dominated world, that we are beginning to see those changes too, literally finding that the crumbling of that old world structure, that patriarchal system that has held us in control for quite some time, is now falling and changing and shifting for the better, moving out of toxicity into a more divine aspect of the masculine. Really interesting. Then we have the King of Cups. So yes, this once again is about the masculine. Even though this is a general read, this is literally the King of Cups. So all these changes that are going on for all of us are about literally finding that masculine within all of us that is going through the struggles, because it is now time for that masculine part of all of us to step into divinity and find that nurturing, kind and generous manifestation of the King of Cups into our lives. Now, that could come in the form of a projected masculine for some of us, but most of it is literally about going within and finding those qualities of the divine masculine within that are now emerging on the planet. But first it must emerge from within each and every single one of us. That divinity that the masculine holds within all of us. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, because it's literally all about finding the Holy Grail for the masculine. Very much so. It's really interesting that this is a general read, but I'm actually reading like it is the masculine read. But literally this is about renewal of the masculine parts of ourselves, the divine masculine, and removing and allowing the death of the old patriarchal system and the toxic masculine within each and every single one of us. So I discovered something earlier this week too, and a way that we can find that masculine wound that is within each and every single one of us. And it's a good idea to find the masculine form of yourself. Anytime that you feel upset, or maybe a divine masculine that is, or a projected masculine that that any of you may associate with, any time that we are triggered from a masculine on an outer level or by our inner masculine, I've found that it's a really good idea to go within and find the child, that the masculine child that is within you, and to find out exactly what this child's needs are, and then to give sustenance, to give compassion, and to give kindness and love to that wounded child, the masculine child within each and every single one of us, and then to incorporate that wounded child within each and every single one of us by bringing him into your heart space, into your heart center. It's just something that I have started to do, and finding for myself that I'm finding more compassion towards a lot of the masculine, my projected masculines, because there's so many of them that I have in my life. and always kind of like, triggering responses in myself that need attention. So so it's really interesting that this, even though the feminine has pretty much risen on the earth plane, it is now time for the divine masculine to find his way. And of course that masculine resides in each and every single one of us. So that's just a little pointer there. I don't know if all of us must find our own way of how we sort of integrate things into our lives and heal within. So it's just a suggestion, one I'm finding quite healing actually, and can also change the relationships that you have with those masculines as well. So I also feel like, so with all these changes, I keep bringing up the financial system because it keeps coming up in my cards, even though I haven't looked at anything for so long, but this is like, it's coming soon, the crunch. No growth, I'm hearing, on that financial sector. So as the masculine begins to grow and heal, then the remnants of the toxic masculine patriarchal world will begin to collapse and fall, and we're going to start to see that, of course, with the financial collapse when it does occur, and it will sometime this year. So it's really now time, as we begin to let go of a lot of the old world structure, that we come out of any kind of deception or denial that we find within, and move into greater truth, which is exactly where we're all going. Okay, what else? Yep, so basically these are all the same cards that I pulled before, exactly the same. The Chariot, Ace of Wands, Death, Nine of Cups, the Sun, Temperance. Temperance is about balance, but it's also about, tempering the energies so that we can allow the changes to occur, and becoming more compassionate and kind to ourselves and others as we do this. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I have for this week. It's really about letting go of the old toxic masculine world in one way or another, and allowing the newness to come within, and managing to integrate that, the child, the masculine child, the deep wounded masculine child that we all have within us, and to access that child and to integrate that child into our lives in a healed version. Okay, all right. However you wish to do that in your life. Okay, all right. So that's all I have for you this week for the general energy report. And I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.